said this ball's for him?
Yeah, this is for him.
Sorry, this might be a little graphic, but it was like some blood coming from his mouth.
From the heart-stopping moment when Damar Hamlin collapsed on the field to the unforgettable Minneapolis Miracle that sent fans into a frenzy, the NFL has witnessed some of the most powerful displays of human emotion ever seen in sports. So which moments truly stand out as the most emotional in NFL history? Well, let's see. During a Monday Night Football game in 2023, an unforeseen event happened. Damar Hamlin, Buffalo Bills safety, suffered a cardiac arrest. It was during a game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. The game had started well, however, when Hamlin made a tackle in the first quarter, he collapsed shortly after. The scene was a very shocking one. The players from both teams, fans, and staff were all taken aback. Everything happened so fast. After the collision, Damar Hamlin stood up before falling to the ground. The medical staff quickly came to attend to Hamlin. They performed CPR and even used an AED to restore his heartbeat on the field. After giving him treatment for some minutes, Hamlin was taken to the hospital in critical condition. It was a very devastating moment, especially for his teammates. The sad and worried looks on their faces were evident of how bad the situation was. Others were unable to hold back their tears. As a result, the match was suspended and postponed. Seeing a player collapse in the middle of a game is every fan's worst nightmare. But watching Alex Smith step back onto the field after his career-threatening injury was a different kind of emotional roller coaster. In 2018, Alex Smith, the NFL quarterback who was playing for the Washington football team, suffered a severe injury in his right leg. Smith broke his leg in a very serious manner, and the bones pierced through his skin, an injury known as a compound fracture. Now, things got worse when Smith's injured leg began developing an infection. The situation was critical, so much that the doctors feared they would have to amputate his leg to save his life. However, considering he was an athlete, other ways had to be sought out. Multiple surgeries were done to fix the broken bones and treat the infection. It was not an easy process and period for Smith and his family. But, believe it or not, he survived. And after 693 days, Alex Smith made a comeback to the NFL in 2022. When Smith went to play his first match, it was very emotional for his family, and the crowd was tense too. He was yet to get proper on-field contact, so you can imagine what it was like for his family when they saw it happen. Smith surely left everyone in tears, but J.J. Watt's surprise tribute video did more than that. It left even the toughest of players struggling to hold back emotion. In 2022, J.J. Watt, who had played in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals as a defensive end, made his retirement known. He was a man of the people, loved and respected. So before playing his final game in the NFL, Watt got together with his teammates. As he was having a moment with them, they decided to give him a little surprise. They played a tribute video for Watt. In this video, his friends, teammates, former teammates, and his family too, that is, his brothers and parents, were featured in the video. One after the other, they gave heartfelt messages to Watt. His teammates expressed their respect for him. They congratulated him on his retirement and the achievements he had made in his career. As he watched them one by one, he couldn't help but break down into tears. The video went viral, making all those who watched it as emotional as Watt. It was a very beautiful gesture from his loved ones and team. And speaking of unforgettable tributes, Demaryius Thomas's tribute took things even further. His tribute is perhaps one of the most emotional moments in the NFL. And it all dates to 2019, where he had a car accident, one that later affected him and led to his death. During the accident, Thomas got serious injuries, and they were believed to be the cause of the seizures he experienced. In 2021, the tragedy happened. Thomas was found dead in his home in Roswell, and an autopsy revealed he died from complications related to the seizures. His death was a very difficult one for the NFL world to take in. During a game between the Denver Broncos and the Detroit Lions, the Broncos honored Thomas with a tribute. They took a few minutes and watched his tribute video in the stadium, celebrating his life and career. The most special gesture was shown when the game started. In his memory, the Denver Broncos started the game with 10 men. they left a wide receiver position empty as a tribute and in honor of their former star receiver. The moment was one that really moved the crowd and became one of the NFL's most special moments. The emotions were still high from Thomas's tribute when Andrew Luck decided to shock the world with his sudden retirement, leaving the entire league speechless. You see, Andrew played quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He was a special player regarded as one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. However, when injuries started plaguing him, things took an unexpected turn. In 2019, he shocked the world when he announced his retirement at the age of 29. Now, while this was shocking, his retirement speech was unbelievably emotional. Luck opened up, and he acknowledged that the retirement had been one of the most difficult decisions he had ever had to make in his life. He went on to say that the reason for retirement was the cycle of never-ending injuries. He confessed that it had all taken a heavy toll on him physically and mentally. Being in constant pain, going into rehab, and going through the same cycle again for 4 years had pushed him to the limit. The whole speech was very emotional and difficult for fans, and especially Andrew Luck. His retirement was a gut punch to Colts fans, but what happened next in Minneapolis lifted spirits in a way no one saw coming. Stefon Diggs' win, also known as the Minneapolis Miracle, is one of the most remarkable wins in NFL history. The memorable moment happened during the NFC Divisional Round game between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Vikings were trailing 24-23, and there were only 10 seconds left before the end of the match. Minnesota had the ball on their 39-yard line, making it almost impossible for them to get out and advance. Case Keenum made a deep pass to Stefon near the sideline. As expected, Diggs jumped to catch the ball, and in an unexpected turn of events, Marcus Williams, the Saints defender, missed the tackle. So when Diggs jumped, he landed well on his feet and was able to sprint to the end zone. Diggs scored a miraculous game-winning touchdown right in the nick of time. The win secured a 29-24 victory for the Vikings and sent them to the NFC Championship game. It was a very emotional moment for Diggs, his teammates, and the fans. In the post-game interview, Diggs was very emotional and gave a heartfelt speech. It was evident that the win meant so much to him. At the epitome of it, Diggs got so emotional that he started crying. He was unable to continue with the interview and opted to walk away. But can that top out the Cincinnati Bengals on their first playoff victory in over 3 decades? January 15th, 2022 is one of the most memorable days in the Cincinnati Bengals history and the NFL. During the NFL wildcard round of the 2021 season, the Bengals achieved a remarkable win. They defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 26-19. Now, this win was their first playoff victory since 1991. The win was very special because the Bengals had experienced one of the longest postseason droughts in NFL history before then. Joe Burrow, who was in his second season with the Bengals as a quarterback, played an important role in leading the Bengals to victory. The quarterback had an impressive performance, throwing for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also completed 24 of 34 passes. Jamar Chase, who was in his first season in the league, also had an outstanding performance. The Bengals played really well, taking control as early as possible. At halftime, they were already leading 20-13. The victory was a significant achievement for the team, and they had an impressive playoff run. With stronger performances, they advanced further and managed to reach the Super Bowl 56, which was their first Super Bowl appearance since 1989. The win was not only special for the Bengals, but for Burrow too, who had just come from a devastating knee injury in 2020. Undoubtedly, that win was something special, but when it comes to emotional wins, the Rams' Super Bowl victory was on another level entirely. The 2022 Super Bowl 56 was a very special moment for the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams won their first Super Bowl in 22 years, having last won the Super Bowl in 2000. The 23-20 victory against the Cincinnati Bengals was a special one, especially for Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham had scored the game's first touchdown through a 17-yard pass from Matthew Stafford. However, his joy was short-lived when he sustained a knee injury during the second quarter. Beckham was forced to watch the rest of the game from the sidelines. The moment was devastating, not only for him, but for his teammates and the fans too. So when Beckham's team won, it was a very emotional moment for him. Beckham was overcome by emotion and couldn't hold back his tears. Although he was unable to finish the game, the win was very special because of his early contribution. Now, in the same way the win was a delight for the Rams, it was devastating for the Bengals. They all had disappointment on their faces. It was a game in which they had a chance to win or tie, but lost by a very narrow margin. Anyways, these were some of the most emotional moments in NFL history, but which one do you think stands above the rest? Or is there a moment we missed that left you speechless? Let us know in the comments below as you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos. Also, have a look at this video on the greatest rivalry in NFL history. You'll love it.